In marine and freshwater habitats, the salinity of these waters can vary greatly along different gradients affecting certain species of marine animals. To be able to cope with the change of salinity, they need to have a specific body adaptation, this being osmoregulation. Marine animals such as salmon and bull sharks use osmoregulation in slightly different ways. Osmoregulation is the process by which animals control solute concentrations and balance water gain and loss. Animals that travel from marine to freshwater habitats have been found to undergo certain adaptations, including adaptations of the skin, gills, gut, and other major organs. In marine waters where the salinity is high, it has been found that fish can change its priority from that of secreting sodium to actually retaining as much water as it can and altering its secretions of certain ions. In freshwater, the opposite seems to occur, where the secretion of sodium and other ions appear to increase. Colt states that the changes in fish osmoregulation conferring tolerance to extreme salinities. Bull sharks, however, use their rectal gland to determine the concentrations of sodium needed, as well as adapting to different ways of absorption and secretion of unwanted sodium. Salmon are the most well-known fish to osmoregulate. Living in salt water, salmon are bathed in water which solute composition is up to 3 times more concentrated than their bodily fluids. Therefore, they are constantly needing to lose water. Salmon living in marine water which have high levels of sodium chloride constantly need to break down that sodium chloride once it enters their bloodstream, otherwise the increased levels could kill them. Salmon do this by gradually moving into the saltier water and drinking it as they go. During this time, their kidneys begin to create concentrated urine, whilst the sodium chloride pumps in their gills begin to reverse the direction in which the water flows, meaning they are pumping the sodium chloride out of their blood and into the water. In turn, when returning to freshwater, the salmon go through the same procedure by drinking the water and allowing their kidneys to control the sodium chloride levels. Much the same as the process discussed prior, but in reverse. Bull sharks are a rare species of shark that is able to survive in both fresh and saltwater environments due to their adaptation of osmoregulation. Only they do this in a slightly different way to salmon.
They also have one very special characteristic.
One of the most amazing things about these bull sharks is that they go from marine to freshwater with no problems.
When living in salt water, bull sharks go through the same process as most other sharks, which have copious amounts of urea and a protein known as TMAO to balance out their concentrations. Unlike the salmon, they don't need to ingest the water into their bodies. They are able to constantly passively absorb water through their gills and body surface. The water is then filtered via the kidneys for desalinization, which removes high amounts of salt and keeps the fresh water in their bodies, not allowing the high levels of salt to be retained. When travelling into freshwater, the bull sharks must do so over an extended period of time to allow their bodies to adapt to the change of salinity. Bull sharks continue to absorb water the same way, but the kidneys do not filter as much of the salt out and instead filter out higher levels of urea. Unlike salmon, the bull shark absorbs the water to travel to the kidneys, but during this process, the liver of the shark converts ammonia to urea, which is then filtered and excreted out by the kidneys. The shark's rectal gland is used to determine how much salt is necessary for their survival. This conversion of urea uses more energy, but allows the shark to need less water. The levels of sodium chloride concentrations are much lower for the sharks when living in freshwater. Bull sharks primarily use their rectal gland to maintain its balance with the surrounding water, unlike salmon, which only uses their kidneys and ingestion of surrounding water to maintain their balance.